Do you wake up every day feeling that you're just not going anywhere? Everyone around you is suddenly achieving a lot of things. Everyone around you is living their perfect lives. Everyone around you is basically progressing in life. Are you feeling that you don't have what it takes to be successful and you just are dreaded to go throughout the day? Do you want more self-esteem and more confidence in life, which leads to greater joy in your day-to-day life? Then this video is for you. Hey you beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. A couple of days back, one of my friends from school texted me saying the hi, hello, usual stuff, and then he point blank asked me to recommend him some books which will help him with self-confidence. This struck out to me because he was not a person who I felt would be needing self-confidence, right? Because I knew him as a person who had it sorted out and he was very optimistic about life. Then he told me how he was feeling that everybody around him is suddenly achieving a lot. Whenever he goes to social media, he sees people achieving, getting these milestones and just doing a lot of things, and somehow that has hampered his self-confidence a lot. He's trying out things but he does not feel motivated at all. Whenever he wakes up, he feels that how to get through the day and what to do, what not to do. There's a lot of self-doubt. In this video, I'm going to share some books which will help you to get out of this self-doubt system. You would go from self-doubt to self-assured. This process of going from self-doubt to self-assured, all of these books will help you in doing that. Some of these books are dense reads. They are clinically research-based, clinically therapy-based stuff, which are a little difficult to read but are very, very important if you are actually struggling with the problem of self-confidence, where you are not at all motivated in life. And some of the books are very light but they are very uplifting. So if you are in a space where you're doing good but you want to get uplifted, so even I have books for you guys. So I'm covering some diverse topics with these books. These are fresh recommendations and all of them are great books. Make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. Okay, so the first book on this list is 10 Days to Self-Esteem by Dr. David Burns. Just like the title sounds, this book is like a program. It's not like a one-shot read. It's a program to not just improve, to know about your emotions and to know why you are underconfident, why you have low self-esteem. Have you ever wondered that whenever you react something, you don't react it because of the situation, but you react to it because of your cognitive bias. Now, what is a cognitive bias? A cognitive bias, or CB, is basically some event that has happened in your past and some event which has a staunch belief system inside you. So whenever you have a reaction to a situation, because of your past belief systems, you react to it that way. Let's say somebody had a difficult childhood, so he or she always views the world in that lens. They have a cognitive bias to it. So the author says in this book that most of the problems which we have, most of the problems which we encountered, and most of the problems with self-confidence and self-esteem are all created by yourself. They are not inherently there. They are not objectively there. So the author has talked about some tips and tricks by which you can separate the cognitive bias from your inherent belief systems and from the objective thing which is there right in front of you. There are lots of easy tricks. This is a very easy book to read, and like the title says, 10 days, it's not like in 10 days you will transform your life. This book has to be reread again and again, but this is a great starting point if you are someone who's not at all into books. If you are someone like my friend who has never read a book but he wants to get some insight into developing self-confidence, then this is a great starting point. Very easy to follow, very actionable, not too preachy. That would be my first recommendation. Check it out and do let me know in the comment section if you guys have read it. I would love to know what you guys think of it. The next book on the list is actually a non-clinical trauma healing book. Let me tell you what do I mean by that. If you are someone who has been through a trauma, if you're someone who is dealing with actual anxiety, depression and all of those things, if you're someone who has gone through a lot and feel there's just no hope in life, if you are feeling out in the dumps, you feel that this is rock bottom, then this book is definitely for you. Only then pick up this book. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone because you would relate more if you have personally gone through a trauma rather than reading about trauma. The book is called What Happened to You. It's written by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. They have a scientific conversation about trauma and anxieties. They have a non-clinical but scientific discussion about trauma and anxiety. So have you ever wondered, you react to a situation in some way and then you wonder, why did I do that? How did I do that? And why did this happen? And suddenly when you find a person who's easy to blame in that situation, you blame that person, you blame that situation and move on. But that thing always stays with you because you did not encounter directly what the problem was. You just blamed it on someone and moved ahead. When a collection of all of these things accumulates, think it like a kachra, like तुम्हारे मन में कचरा भरते जा रहा है, something like that. When that happens and suddenly there is a form of an adversity, there is an event which you were not expecting, that event triggers all of these small particles to come outside and they come out in a different form. This is how people experience trauma. When the event which happened was unfortunate and unexpected, and all of the other energies which you had, all of the other problems that you have, they come out in a certain way and you don't know why you reacted in that. So the book talks about all of these things. There are many stories. Oprah Winfrey herself has shared a lot of inspiring stories. If you're listening to an audiobook, it will be very calming for you to hear her stories, and just the way she talks, it's amazing, right? We've all heard her talk. The way she talks, it's really nice and very calming. So you can read that book if you are in this space. This book is a very important read in terms of self-reflection. Not many books teach you the action of self-reflection. Not many books teach you that most of the work you have to do, and I'm not gonna tell you. So this book is one of those books where once you start reading it, once you are dealing with those things, you would start a lot of self-reflection. You would start to analyze, why did I react to that situation in that way? The author basically says that there needs to be a shift in mindset from what is wrong with you to what happened with you. So the lens which the author is going to present it to you, through that lens you're always going to relate to situations, relate to your reactions by what has actually happened in your life. So that way it gives you a lot of self-reflection abilities. Yeah, so that was a heavy topic, I know, but many people ask me this, that please help me with books which will help us with positive thinking, which will help us with confidence. If you are someone in this space, definitely read this book. I promise you it will help you to get out of this slump which you are feeling. When I went online and I saw the reviews about this book, they were pretty heartening. Many people have said that this book has helped them to get out of the trauma, have helped them to get out of those anxieties. And Oprah Winfrey again is a very philanthropic person. She cares a lot about mental well-being. She cares a lot about the society's well-being in general. So yeah, that way I feel this was an important recommendation. Yeah, that was my second recommendation. Next on the list is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Very popular book. You might have heard it by millions of people recommending. Again, it's a very intense book, mind you. It's a very hard-hitting book. So David Goggins was an ex-Navy SEAL and an ultra-marathon runner, and he had a, again, very difficult childhood, full of abuse, full of difficulties, adversity, all of those things. He had a very difficult childhood, and how he overcame through it, he had a realization that your human mind and body has a lot of potential than you actually put it. Basically, the limits that you set for yourself, for your mind and your body, the limit is too low, and the actual limit of the body and mind is much higher. So what he does is he goes to extreme levels to test his capabilities. I'm not sure I'm that kind of person who would test their capabilities in such a dangerous way, but it is very inspiring in a way. It is inspiring to know that yes, there is no limit to human potential, there is no limit to your mind, your body. So that way, if you're looking for something which will uplift you, if you're looking for something which has a story angle to it, it has got a lot of drama, it has got these very interesting situations and characters, his personal family members, his friends, all of them together. It's a very compelling read and a very motivating read. If you have heard good things, you have heard it right. The book is really good to read. It's very hard hitting, but again, I am not that person who pushes a lot of extremes into doing my work. I am a person with a different philosophy when it comes to life. If you have a personality where you really like working really hard, then go for it. You would love this book. Next on the list is one of my favorite biographies of all time. It's written by Walter Isaacson and it's the Steve Jobs biography. Now, why am I recommending this particular biography? I know there are a lot of good biographies out there because we all know the impact that Steve Jobs had, but we also don't know what kind of a person he was. Apart from being very innovative and risk-taking, he was also a very resilient person. A person like him was faced in such horrific situations. Imagine he invented Apple, and after a few years, Apple threw threw him out of the company. He started his own company, Pixar, and then Apple got him back. Imagine being thrown out of your own company. What can that thing do to your self-confidence? Just imagine that. And how this man just navigated through all of those self-esteem problems. That's why you should read this book. And Walter Isaacson is a master biographer. He just captures the mystique of the person. He just captures the inner working of that person. It actually feels like that person is talking to you. So that way, I think Steve Jobs' biography is a very, very well done biography. Isaacson has also come up with the new Elon Musk biography, by the way, where he was traveling with Musk all the time during all of his adventures, his recent adventures. So I'm looking forward to reading that book as well. Again, when I talk about Elon Musk also, if you just think how he must have felt when his idols were criticizing him. He started SpaceX, he started this whole space race industry because he was really inspired by Neil Armstrong. On camera, Neil Armstrong is seen criticizing Elon Musk that this won't work, privatization of space won't work. Elon Musk literally cried in an interview of how his idol is criticizing him. But still, with this situation, how do these people maintain their self-esteem? How do these people maintain their self-confidence is very, very inspiring. So yeah, Jobs is my next recommendation. Next on the list is one book which I have recommended multiple times, but the recommendation fits perfectly in this space. The book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I have reread this book multiple times because it just forces me to think about the present more and more. A lot of problem with confidence comes from the fact that we are always thinking about the future or the past. Any self-confidence problem we have, we are always imagining the results as opposed to the current situations. If you are underconfident in speaking to someone, it is because you're thinking what will happen when I do something. If you're underconfident about doing something, approaching something, starting a business, writing an exam, it's because you're afraid of the results as opposed to what is happening right now in the moment. So this book greatly helps you in that. It gives you so many good techniques, so many good stories which will force you to just put your perspective into the correct moment, into the right moment, and just go ahead with that particular mindset. It works really nicely. I have been doing that since a lot of time, and I have experienced changes in myself, in my mindset when I think about it that way. It has really helped me with my stress management systems. Next on the list is again one of my favorite books. You might have seen it in my last vlog. The book is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book is great for artists. This book is great if you are a creative person of any kind. If you are especially a content creator these days, you would have a lot of self-confidence problems, right? You would feel in your space or any other creator who's doing really good, who's getting those numbers, who's getting the right kind of engagement, and you are not experiencing that. However effort you put into your content, into your ideation, into your scripting, anything and everything. So this is a very good book in that space if you're a creative person. It's very hard, especially if you are also earning through your art. This is also a very, very difficult space to be in. Your food depends on the artistic work that you're doing. So whether your artistic work is gonna be magical or not. How do you tackle that? It's very, very easy if you read the book Big Magic. Very easy read. I remember when I read it for the first time, I read it in just one sitting because it was that engaging to me, and it spoke me in a very casual way. Like the ideas she shares are not very high funda, they're not very preachy, they're just very easy, light going, breezy ideas which you would love to hear. So yeah, it's a great recommendation. And the last book on the list is Discipline is Destiny. I would recommend to read an audiobook version of this by Ryan Holiday. I completed the audiobook for this book. When he suddenly talks into your ears about discipline, you suddenly get that confidence somehow. The stories he shares, facts he shares are so hard hitting. He talks about how you've not come here to sleep, you have not come here in this life to sleep, and that just resonates in your mind when you're waking up. Like that just puts you in a different subconscious space when you want to start something. So I think audiobook is a great format to read Discipline is Destiny. The stories which he shares, which are mostly stoic in nature, also help you to learn about stoicism more, also help you to learn about the ideals of Marcus Aurelius. Even if you're not reading meditations, you can read any of Ryan Holiday's books. They have the same taste, they have the same base, they have the same foundation where they talk about stoicism in a different. So yeah, that was the list, guys. I hope you find value in this video. I hope if you are actually struggling with any sort of a self-esteem problem, you find value in this video. Make sure to like this video and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the future videos which I have to offer for you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till here. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.